Applying for DS-160 is done electronically through the U.S. Department of State Consular Electronic Application Center. So to fill out the electronic form, it usually takes about 90 minutes to do so, or even less or even more, depending on the individual. So the DS-160 form will ask you several questions about your history, your family history, and many other personal questions. These questions is going to determine your eligibility. So I'm going to share with you how to fill this form from beginning to the end. So all you need to do is open your browser and type in DS-160 form on your browser. And once it opens, you are looking at this siac.state.gov website. Once you see this is the right website, you click on it. And once you're on the website, this page opens, the US Department of State. You want to make sure you select the language. For instance, I select English because of course, I speak English. You can select whatever language depending on what language you speak. And once you select, this is where you want to go to. You want to get started. Select a location where you'll be applying from. Are you applying from Cameroon? Are you applying from South Africa, for instance? So I'm going to take Cameroon, my home country, for instance. I'm going to apply in Cameroon, Yaoundé. So I click Cameroon, Yaoundé, and it asks me to enter the code as shown below. So I'm going to enter this code. Papa, okay. Once I enter the code, it tells me start an application or retrieve an application. Of course, I am starting a brand new application, so I need to click on start an application. Once you start an application, Computer and Abuse Act notice. Please read all of this information is very much important to know what you're getting yourself into. Assuming you must have read everything, you just come to the agree button and you click on the agree button already. If you see already right here, this is the 3rd of April 2023. This is your application number. You take note of this. And once you move to the bottom, it's going to ask you some security questions. This is to help you to retrieve your application as you move forward applying on the DS-160 form. So I'm just going to click, for example, what is the given name of your father? There are so many options. You can take the one you can easily retain. So I'm just going to go with what is the middle name of your youngest child. Let me just click on that one, and I will just put Patty. My answer is Patty, and of course, I will click continue. Once I click continue, if you look at the top right, is it left? If you look at this column, it's telling you of how to get started, personal information, travel companion, previous US travel address, phone number, passport, US contact family, work, education, training, security, and background. We're going to be entering all of this information. And if you look at the top, you find your application ID. This is very much important. You see, estimated time to fill this is normally 90 minutes, but you have 30 days to fill the application. So do not be in a rush when filling this application because it's very, very important. Okay, we're going to start with the first surname. I'm going to be using my son. Let me just use Patty ISO. I can just put ISO right here. Always put your name the way it appears on your passport. The next thing is full name in native alphabet language. If you do not have it, just click on does not apply. Have you ever used any other name? If you've used any other name, you can say yes or you can say no. I haven't used any other name. So I'm just going to rush through this. Do you have a telecode that represents your name? Of course. And please always pay attention to this column because it tends to explain everything. For example, telecode are 4-digit code numbers that represent characters in some non-Romance alphabet names. So always make sure if you get confused, always refer to this column so it helps you to get insight of what you're feeling. And of course, you fill in your sex, your marital status, you put all of that. If you are married, you put married. Date and place of birth, I'm just going to rush through this real quick. And once you are done, you can either save your information or you can move to next. In this situation, I want to save because I have other things to do. And once you save, you see, do you want to continue application or exit application? Of course, I don't want to exit, but I want to continue. So it brings me back to this page just to make sure everything is on point. I now move to next. The next thing it tells you, country of origin. Where are you applying from? Like from the onset, I'm applying from Cameroon. Do you or do you hold or have you held any other nationality other than the one indicated above on your nationality? No, I am a Cameroonian. Are you a permanent resident of a country other than your country? If you are, please always make sure to identify. Of course, here it's going to ask for your national identification number, the one you have in your country. For example, I'm just going to put just random numbers right here, and US social security number. Of course, you don't have a social security number yet, so you just put does not apply. US taxpayer ID number, of course, you don't have it, so you put do not apply. If you do, you can fill it out. All right. I move to next, which is travel. Purpose of trip to the US. Please select a visa class. Now, this is what I'm saying, that you have to know the visa type you're going in for when applying for US visa. These are some of the types of the visa class that you're applying for. Remember, we are focusing our attention on the business pleasure visit. That is the B1, B2 visa category. So I'll click on B1. When I click on business pleasure visitor, the B visa category, it asks me to specify. So I click on right here to specify, am I going for business or tourism? Are you going for conference, or are you going for tourism, medical, business treatment? In this case, I put B1. I'm going for business. Have you made any travel plans? Of course, you're traveling to the US, you should have travel plans. So I'm going to just rush quickly through this. Date of arrival, you need to input your date. Let's say I will be arriving in the US on the 2nd of December of 2023, for instance. Arrival flight, I can just put Ethiopian Airlines. Where city, I can just put Chicago right there. Date of departure from the US. Okay, let's say I'll be spending 10 days, 10th and 10th of December 2023. I just put it right there. Okay, departure flight, I take Ethiopian Airlines. Departure city, I put Illinois. And also provide locations you plan to visit in the United States. I can put, I plan to visit Washington, D.C. Please always put a location when you're asked at the embassy. Make sure it goes in line with what you filled in your DS-160 form. Address where you'll be staying. Okay, I can provide an address where I'll be staying right here. So I can just put any random number. You can put just any number. Okay, the city, I can put Maryland, for instance. The state, MD. Where's MD? I can put Maryland. The city, I can put Bowie, for instance. The zip code, you should know your zip code, 227 blah 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 777. Yeah, let me just rush through this. Who is paying for your ticket? Who is paying for your trip? Are you the one? Is it other person, your present employer, your employer in the US, other organization? If it's self, you put self. If you are not the one paying for your visit, put other person. And when you put other person, this information will come out where you're going to pull in the person's surname, name, telephone number, email, and of course your relationship with the person. Is the person your child, your spouse, other relative, friend, or other? If it's other, you click on other and you try to put all the information. So I'm going to go back there. I am the one taking care of my trip. So this is it, and I move to next. And you see there is a problem because this address is unknown. So the address had a problem. Okay, so I move to next. Yeah, I'm right now I am on next. Okay, now we have travel companion information. Are there other people traveling with you? I can say yes. If you specify yes, make sure everything is okay. Are you traveling as part of a group or an organization? No. So if you are not traveling if you're traveling with someone, you need to input their names and everything, and the relationship you have with the person, you make sure it is well put. So in this case, I'm just going to say no, I am traveling by myself, and I move to the next. Have you ever been in the United States? If you've never been to the United States, you click either yes or no. Have you ever been issued a US visa? If you have been issued, you click. If you've not, you tick the right one. Have you ever been refused a US visa application to the United States? If you have been refused, click yes and explain the reason for your refusal. If you have not been refused visa before, you click no, and just like that. Have you ever been, yeah. Have you ever been issued a visa? Okay, no, no. Okay, leave it there. Has anyone ever filed an immigrant? Has anyone ever filed an immigrant petition on your behalf with the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services? You say no. If you haven't done it, and you move to the next one. You move to next. In this case, let me save my application because I want to retrieve this application later, people. So I have saved my application and I need to retrieve it. So this is how it is. This is how it goes. It is very easy. So let's now try to retrieve this application that we just filled. So to retrieve an application is very easy. So you just go back to your DS-160 form. Instead of start an application, you want to retrieve an application. And once you do that, it's going to ask you all of these questions that we had on the onset. You're going to input your country of origin. In this case, I used Cameroon. You enter the code MCTM, the code they're going to give you, and retrieve an application. It's going to ask you for the application ID. Remember the application ID we had before? So this is, we have to enter all of that 00BWFUOP. Okay. It says retrieve and it's going to ask the first 5 letters of my name. I had Patty, year of birth 1989. What is the name of your youngest child? Patty. Retrieve. And immediately it retrieves my application and it takes me to where we stopped. So we're just going to go through next. We already filled out this travel companion. Very good. Okay, so now we are at previous US travel information. So we're going to be filling all of this. Remember, this did not save for some reason. So have you ever been to the US? We already we already filled all of this. Okay. All right. So now we're moving to the next part, which is the address and phone number information. Your home address. So I'm just going to put in my home address here, like what I had before. I just put in my home address. Is your mailing address the same as your home address? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to input my phone number. I'm just going to put 237. This is, I'll just put this phone number, secondary number, and all of that. It does not apply, but if you have, you can include it. Have you ever used any other phone in the last 5 years? I haven't, so I said no. If you have, you can indicate. My email address, Patty ISO. I'm going to put Patty ISO right there. Have you ever used any other mail in the past 5 years? I said no. Okay, social media. Do you have a social media presence? So if you have social media presence, you can select. These are all the social media platforms that we have. We have Ask.fm, Facebook, Google Plus, Instagram, LinkedIn, MySpace, and all of that. So you can put Facebook, and once you click on Facebook, you're going to need to put your social media identifier. So you just go to your Facebook. This is my Facebook right here, already opened. So this is my Facebook. So I'm just going to come in right here and copy my Facebook URL and input it right here and paste it. So once I do that, that is it. Do you wish to provide information about your presence on any other website or application you have used within the last 5 years to create or share content, videos, and so on? If you do not have, for example, you can say no. Then you move to the next one. So now we are at the passport information level. So you need to select your passport. Do you have a regular, official, diplomatic, a laissez-faire passport, or which one? So if you have the normal regular passport, you input regular passport, and of course, you put your passport number. Put a passport number there. Do you have a passport book? I don't have it, so it does not apply. Country of issuance. Where was your passport issued? And I just say my passport was issued in Cameroon. I'll just put Cameroon right there. Where was it issued? Yaoundé. Country region, the country where the passport was issued. And I'm going to put Cameroon again. When was the passport issued? I'll just put the third, maybe February 2021. 2021, and it's going to expire 3rd of February 2026. Have you ever lost a passport or had one stolen? No. If you have, yes, you need to indicate, explain why. In this case, I have not lost a passport before. The next one, we are moving in. I forgot the city where the passport was issued, Yaoundé. So these are some of the mistakes that when you make, you need to come back and it's going to show you and you need to fix it. Central Province. Okay, now we're going to move to the US point of contact information, the person you're going to be visiting. For example, the person I'm visiting, maybe the name is Mandela, the other name is Igwe, for instance. The organization, do you know who is inviting you? You can now state maybe University of Boston, University of Boston, for instance. You just put it right there, the relationship with you. What is the relationship? These are very important people. This is extremely important. Is it your relative, your business partner, your employer? In this case, let me put business partner. And of course, he will now ask you to provide the address of the person. So I'm just putting in an address that, a default address in this case. Okay, and the email. Okay, now we move to family information. Relatives is going to ask for your father's full name. So I'm just going to put Dodo. Another name, I could just put Haha. Remember, this is an example. Date, 3rd. When was your, all of that? 1978. Is your father in the US? No. If they are, you mention. Do the same with the mom. Date of birth, maybe 2nd April. If you do not know, you can just put do not know. Is your mother in the US? No. Do you have any other relative? Do you have any other relative? Do you have any immediate relative, not including parents in the United States? I don't have. If you do have, you do include them. And of course, if you are married, you can put your spouse name and all of that. So family information on spouse. Remember, I mentioned I am married, so I have to put the name of my spouse. If you're not married, this they won't ask you all of this. This is very important. The country where your spouse is coming from, where was your spouse born, Boya, region, Cameroon, spouse address, same as home address. So my spouse address is same as my home address, and I move to the next one. Primary work, education, training information, primary occupation. You need to choose your occupation. Are you just go through this, and are you a business person, communication, computer science? I can put computer science. And you ask me my present employer or school name, I'll just put University of Boya. University of Boya. I'm going to provide the address there. Boya, Southwest, zip code, country, Cameroon, Cameroon. Yeah, start date I started in January, for example, of 2008, for instance. Monthly income in local currency. If you're earning this, you can include it, but you can put does not apply. It all depends on you. I'll just put does not apply. But in this case, you want to put your monthly income and also describe. Remember, this is the key. DS-160 form carries all your information, so it's always good to put it. All right. Monthly income, you can just put let's say 1 million francs CFA, that's $2,000. Briefly describe your duties. Computer engineer, for instance, you can outline your duties. Okay, move to the next. Phone number, I missed that, so I'm just going to put something there. Okay, previous work slash training information. Were you previously employed? You can answer yes or no. Have you attended school? Have you attended any educational institution at a secondary level or above? You can indicate by yes. If you put yes, you're gonna, fill the information on the school name. If it's no, you're going to, just leave it like that. Okay, now we move at addition. Do you belong to a clan? No. If you belong, you can indicate. Have you traveled to any other country within the last 5 years? Travel history. You say yes. If you click on yes, you need to outline those countries that you've traveled to. For example, if you've traveled to Andorra, you indicate. If you have traveled to other places, you indicate here. I will just put Angola, so leaving those two countries. Have you belonged to or contributed or worked for any professional, social, and charitable organization? If you have, you can include. Do you have any special skills or training such as firearms, nuclear? No. Have you ever served in the ministry? No. Have you ever served in or been in a member? No. So just be, these are the security questions because the United States wants to make sure that the people they are bringing in, they will not pose a threat to their citizens. So you have to make sure everything is well seated. Okay, once you start behaving like this, you might want to save your application. Yeah, to avoid stories that touches the heart. So we move to the next one. These are all security questions. Do you have a communicable disease? Make sure you read all those security questions and fill them as you do. Please always make sure to read very well before you fill them. So I'm just going to fill these security questions one by one, just like so. do you speak or engage? They want to find out about your security background. Remember, if you've watched my previous video, the United States is scrutinizing individuals or any other country, not just the United States. They want to make sure people they are bringing in, it shouldn't pose a national security threat to their citizens. So they have to make sure if they are bringing you in their country, you should be eligible and good to go. So we are done filling our DS-160 form. This is it. So this is a way of review. Is asking for you must bring a 5 cm by 5 cm passport like photo to your interview. Yes. So make sure you review all of this information one step after the other. One step after the other. Once you've reviewed them and you are sure, you are 100% sure that all the informations you've inputted or you've put in this application, it's correct and authentic, then you can sign and submit. In this case, this was just a demonstration. I'm not going to sign and submit an application. So I hope this video helps someone and also it helps you. Please, if this video has been helpful to you, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up and also leave a comment down below if I have missed anything. Do not also forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, and I'll be bringing you more information on DS-160 form in the coming days. So stick to this channel as I bring with you more information on DS-160 form. Thank you so much. Until my next one. Bye-bye.